started. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies by which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provision of the Act, the Kinnelon Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published in the Suburban Trends on March 13, 2022, posted in the Kinnelon Public Library, filed with the Borough Clerk, and posted on the district website. Ms. Keene, will you call the board, please?
Ms. Jones?
Here.
Mr. Eisenmaker?
Here.
Mrs. Fishback? Mr. Giganti?
Here.
Mrs. Barella?
Here.
Mr. Petroselli?
Here.
And Mrs. Donaldson?
Here.
Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Next on the agenda is routine matters and approval of the minutes for the August 25th, 2022 combined meeting minutes. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, Ms. Keene, will you call the board, please?
Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Mr. Eisenmaker?
Yes.
Mr. Giganti?
Yes.
Mrs. Barella?
Yes.
Mr. Petroselli?
Yes.
And Mrs. Donaldson?
Yes. We're going to make some changes to the agenda to facilitate our new student representative and also to address any potential public comments. So I'd like to make a motion to move education item, report of the superintendent, the education committee's first number 1 item of appointment of the student representative to the next item on the agenda. Can I have a motion for that, please?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so we are going to move the number 1 item under the Education Committee, the Kinnelon Board of Education, upon the recommendation of the interim superintendent, approves the appointment of Christina Haviland as a student representative to the Board of Education for the 2022-2023 school year. Congratulations, Christina. Okay, I also now need a motion.
We have to vote on that.
Oh, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. I will now need a motion to move the student representative's update to number 5 and move the superintendent's update to number 6. Can I have a motion for that, please?
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. So now, Christina, you may give us your update.
I don't necessarily have an update, so I was not as prepared as I probably should have been, but I do know the topic of today's agenda, which is, I believe it's sex education in our schools, and yeah.
Welcome.
Thank
Board.
you.
Okay. All right. Okay, the next item now will be the superintendent's update. Dr. Seeger?
Yeah, thank you. Good evening, everyone. Christina, welcome aboard. Happy to have you here. I just want to go through a couple of things. I did mention this at the workshop meetings. The back-to-school nights are still ongoing. 2 elementary schools, Stony Brook and Kiel, have completed their back-to-school nights, but we do have 2 others. So next week on the 27th is the high school, and on the 29th is Pearl Miller, the middle school. So please come join us if you have children in those schools. The Start Strong testing has been going on in the schools. To my knowledge, we're not having any difficulties with anything, and if they are having any difficulties, they're doing a good job fixing it because it's not coming up to me. So that's good. And then I really want to ask everybody, if you have the opportunity, the newsletters coming out from our principals are really quite outstanding, very informative. I know that I don't want to lean on just one person, but the one that really sticks out in my mind is one from Kiel School last week. Very colorful, and it really gave us a background of when the school was built in 1995. me, that's like yesterday. So 1995, not all that long ago, so that was good. But the interesting thing is they identified somehow that the school mascot was not a colt, it was a koala bear. So this, that's pretty interesting. You had your own little koala bear. So that's what's going on there. And of course, the other tweets and the YouTube videos that go out, please take a look at those. Teachers are involved in a lot of different programs with our students and principals and so on and so forth. So it's a good way to have a good feel of what's going on in the buildings. Also, I looked at, there was outstanding work going on in the summer. When I first came in, I was here July 1st. And what I saw happening was pretty unique, especially in the area of science and technology. So with that being said, I saw a DNA program that was taking place, and our younger students were doing robotics. And so with that said, I invited, just so everybody knows, Madeline Javal, for actually she's our science and technology supervisor, to come and do a presentation at the workshop next month. I really think that in every school district, you should really celebrate the great work that's going on, again, with the students and the teachers. So I'd like to start that, make sure that's going on, and pass it over to Mr. Mango, and I'm sure he will continue with that process. So we look forward to that. And also coming up, oh yeah, it's football season, all right, and soccer season and everything else in the fall. But then Mr. Doney had put out there that we do have, tomorrow night is the, what do we have, tailgate, that's what it is, with the clubs, and there's food and things like that. And then senior recognition, so that would be for the football team, the cheerleaders, the band. So we look forward to that. And then I want to advertise too, it's on tonight's agenda, that on the 7th of October, we're going to have more festivities at the football game, including the West Point paratroopers are actually going to jump onto our field. So, but Dave, I don't know how they're getting back to West Point. And in addition to that, we have the National Guard, Army National Guard will be with us, and so it'll be a festive night to honor our veterans and all those in the service and who have been in the service, and we look forward to that. So, without wasting more time with any kind of information that takes time, and what I want to do briefly, not briefly, but what I want to do is move to the curriculum, because that's why most people are here. So we want to take a look at that, and I just have to move. Okay, so the first thing I really want to do is thank all the members. You see up there the members that were part of the Citizens Advisory Committee. When I first came on board, our board president, Pete Donaldson, recommended that we try to follow this. And we were successful in reaching out, and she has the exact numbers. I think it's like 88 people that actually applied, and now they're down to 40, 52. And we ended up with 14. You'll see 13 names there. We had one person, unfortunately, had to drop off from the group. But this was a mix of people that really came in the door with different ideas. It wasn't, we looked at this and it was done randomly by the sense of you filled out an application, identify what your interests are, and then wrote a little synopsis of what you are looking to do. And that's how you were picked. But the names were not present. It was just what you wrote. The next step was to match names with the writings that came in, the interest, and this is where we ended up. And in addition to this, I want to thank our supervisors and principals also that took place, took time to come and join us, and really the time and dedication. And this is ongoing, so this is not something that's a one-time thing that we're doing just for curriculum. We're going to look at other areas of concern, or things, even new things that you want to incorporate. But I have to really thank each and every one of these. I'm going to say their names because they deserve it. Dr. Jennifer Agnello, Jennifer Claro, Adrian Ferretti, Lula Gallagher, Denise Harrington, Richard Anthony Johnson, Michael Nicosia, Loretta Rolando, Katie Kroll, Lisa Zerbeck, Lacio, Karen Castellino Smith, Ariel Soto, and Jessica Zeligan. From the board side,
course, Ms. Donaldson was there, Mr. Petroselli, and Eric Umbrella was there as well. So, good stuff. It was really very, very productive. And so, before I continue, what I'd like to really ask everybody is that if we can continue this nice dialogue. Because it's really a dialogue for us to listen, for us to share with you, and back and forth. So I really want everybody to take a deep breath. I'll go through these introduction slides, and then I'll ask our interim director of curriculum to come up here. Now you have to realize too, as I said, I came July 1st, and Ms. Mulholland came in, I think, at the end of August. So this was a full-time plush job for us to try to make this happen. And yesterday, when we started putting things together for the community to see, we heard what we heard and at the community meetings, and we decided to put everything possible onto that document that you have access to on the website. So, I know it's a lot. Take your time and read it. How do we, write the curriculum? Well, what happens is basically every 5 years or so, the Department of Education decides they're going to update curriculum, and so we follow this crosswalk, and basically what that is, and we'll see a little bit of it later on, is you're looking at what exists currently, and then you look at what the new standards are, and do some of them connect? And you can see, if you're looking through there, that some of them are very, very similar to what we've done, if not the same. And then they have these new pieces that are added on for us to incorporate. So it's really a comparison of what was and what is. And we've done that together, and that's the puzzle. And that's done for every single subject in schools, not just for this. So we have to remember that this is a fluid document. It's not etched in stone ever. We take a look at everything that's involved here. We get input from families, students, teachers, and it comes back to us and we make the adjustments if they're needed. Even sometimes we have to make some what I call hard changes, really kind of manipulating things in a different way, but by still meeting the standards. There are ongoing observations of the curriculum in the classroom. Administrators go in, supervisors will go in, teachers, they're the best ones to observe because they see what's happening in the classroom as far as student response. We talk about social and emotional learning. Well, if you're talking about a subject that appears to have students feeling very uncomfortable, well, they giggle, okay? You just see them laughing all the time. You have to make adjustments. So those are the things we want to see. On the other hand, if we see students that are feeling very uncomfortable, they're turning red, they're covering their ears, that's another problem. All right, so we are in tune to that, and we want to make things work. Professional development for teachers is the key to this. Teachers are new to this, some of the areas that are in the curriculum, and what's going to happen is they have to have instructions as to what to focus in on, and the important part is the parameters. We look at this, and we trust our teachers that they're going to teach what needs to be taught, but we don't want anybody to go to the point where they're talking about their own issues or coming into stories that really don't need to be there. And so we want to keep it to the point and make it productive. And also the articulation, again, between staff, supervisors, and administrators. Looking at this and making sure that, if that Stony Brook School, Mr. Tell is having a problem in 4th grade or 5th grade, where some kids are really feeling uncomfortable. Well, the teachers are having problems. We're concerned about them too. Then we have to look, as I said before, and we'll make those changes. Now, can parents opt in? Good question. Middlesex County, that was one of their big steps. To have people opting in. Well, the answer to that is no, because you can't opt into something that's required. And curriculum is required, so you can't opt in. All right, so that's how that works. And you'll see that, if you're reading different articles and things, you'll see the opt in, but it's not going to work. And they already turned it down, so that's not going to happen. One of the key things I really want you to be aware of is the fact that, when this first came about in different school districts, we're looking at curriculum. What they did is they went onto the DOE website, they clicked on specific things that were there, and it took them to some ugly places. We are not using any of those, all right? Our curriculum is homegrown. We're going to take the information that we need based on the standards and grow from there. That's how that's going to work. You will see, and if you haven't looked already, there are resources that are listed when you look at some of the curriculum standards and the resources that are there. Those are for teachers. That's not anything we're bringing into the classroom per se. So if there is any kind of video that you find problematic, that's not going to be in there. It's for our teachers to use as a resource when they're building their lesson plans. That's all it is. It's some information they can take from there, incorporate it into the lesson plan, and that's what we're going to go with. Back into the opt-in, so we know that that's a no. Opt-outs, yes, you can opt out. In fact, you could opt out, you could have opted out last year, the year before, and the year before that, because in the policy itself, 2422, I think it is, the health ed and health phys ed policy, that clause is in there, which is exactly what I have written here. So if there's anything that's a conflict, your conscience, your religion, whatever the case may be, you can opt out.